What if everything we've been told about autoimmunity is wrong? I'm Elizabeth Yarnell. After awakening partially blind one morning in 1999, a doctor told me my multiple sclerosis would put me in a wheelchair within 10 years. I refused to accept that as the end of the story, so I started investigating. Welcome to the Inflammation Investigator, the podcast that uncovers the inflammation lurking underneath your ailments. Because autoimmune and chronic conditions should not be viewed as death knells when they are actually alarm bells. I'm a traditional naturopath and founder of the Inflammation Academy. And in 2 episodes every week, we dig into what conventional medicine might be missing. If you're living with chronic or unexplained symptoms, this investigation is for you. Your body has been trying to tell you something. Let's start listening. Welcome back to the show. Today is a little bit of a different experience, a different guest. It's instead of a guest expert, well, she is a guest expert, so I'm going to take that back. She's not a medical expert herself, but our guest today is going to talk about breast implant illness. And she's going to give us a firsthand experience in this that I think is much more common than we have been led to believe. Just thinking about the explosion of implants in our world, not just the US, but all over the globe, really, this explosion of implants and how we've come to see this as kind of something that's harmless and accessible. So today, I'm very excited to welcome Erin Lockwood to the podcast. Welcome, Erin.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So, Erin is a travel advisor with ABC Trips, which is actually how I know her because I have
Yay.
used her as my travel advisor before. And when she came to me and started talking about what was going on in her body, I thought that this was really too valuable not to share. So, Erin, let's start at the beginning of your story. And this is really a whole saga about breast implants, right?
Mhm.
So let's start at the beginning. What made you want to get breast implants?
Well, I had 2 kids, 2 natural births, and after breastfeeding, all women, they just kind of deflate. And I had, been done breastfeeding for a number of years, and my husband and I wanted to travel. We were doing a little bit more of it, and I was just feeling so, I don't know, young and alive still. And I thought, well, I want to go in for a breast lift because I'm not ready to give up a bikini. And I went in for the consultation and I was really misled by my surgeon. And she told me that I didn't have enough tissue to do a lift without augmentation. And I couldn't do augmentation without a lift. I had to have both to get the results I wanted. Hindsight's 2020. I know now that wasn't true. I should have gotten a second opinion, but I trusted that surgeon. I didn't have any reason not to at that time.
And again, it seems like breast implants are kind of a standard surgery that happens all the time, right?
Hmm.
What could be the problem? What could go wrong with your breast implant?
Yeah, exactly. And I even asked about, breast implant illness. What is that? And she said, well, it's not proven, which it's, technically it's sort of true. It's very difficult to diagnose and pinpoint, what's going on inside our bodies. And I also asked specifically about the textured implants I was getting, if there was any additional risks to it. And they just kind of shrugged it off. But I didn't realize that hidden in the paperwork, in the fine print, that the implants they put in my body had a black label warning on them.
Oh my gosh.
And it's different than, something you buy and you get it to your doorstep from Amazon and you see the package. When do women ever see the box that their implants come in? You don't. So I had no idea, even though there was some technical disclosure in the fine print in my pre-op documents. I really had no idea how dangerous it was that they were putting in my body.
So when you went in to get the breast implants, were you a normal, healthy person?
I thought I was. I've always had, a health event in each decade that was random, autoimmune related. But every doctor I saw for these issues that would come up would just say, that's weird. That's a one-off. You're healthy, you're fine. So I never really connected any of those dots. I never realized that some of the things I'd had since childhood were part of an autonomic dysfunction. So even when I was a child and I was in sports, I never sweat. But who
Mhm.
complains about that?
Right.
It's not a problem. I've always had chronic constipation, and all of these things kind of go to chronic dryness. So just, never realized that was a problem until I had my implants in, and my body, every system just sort of exploded.
Wow. So how long did that take for your body to start to react once you had the implants in?
You know what? I would compare it to the frog in a pot of boiling water. If
Mm,
if the water's at room temperature and then you slowly bring it to a boil, they don't notice and the frog will be boiled. But if you try to throw a frog in a boiling pot, it'll jump out right away, no harm. So it is sort of a slow development, nothing overnight, nothing, that I woke up from my surgery feeling, but it was about 2 months after I had my implants that I experienced my first migraine. And then that just within a year, it was chronic to the point where I had 25 days with a migraine a month.
oh my gosh.
And it's been like that for the past 5 years.
Oh, wow. And what did your doctor say when you said I'm getting migraines? Did they did they ask, are these new implants?
No, no. And, I told my primary physician at the time about like, could this be related to my implants? And he just thought, no, I don't think so. And so I thought, I'm crazy. I've got to get this out of my mind. And eventually I started seeing a neurologist, but the neurologist never connected the dots. I've seen a hormone specialist for a couple of years now because my hormones went crazy and I thought they were the source of my migraines, but that turned
Mhm.
out to not be the case. I just sort of went on this wild goose chase trying to figure out like what system is off and what's going wrong.
Right. And I know you had told me earlier that you moved into early perimenopause. How old were you?
Yes. 40. I was 40 when I went into perimenopause. And so many people told me, oh, you're too young for that. So I would get on both ends gaslighting. You're too young to be in perimenopause, but there's an issue. It couldn't be your breasts. So I just felt
Right.
like nobody was terribly interested in finding the real solution. And then these specialists I would see, they would only treat that one symptom.
Right. Treating the symptom instead of the whole body, which is basically screaming inflammation everywhere, right? I'm
Yes.
having migraines. I'm going into menopause. My hormones are going crazy. All of these signs of inflammation going on. And nobody's wondering what's triggering this inflammation to cause these new symptoms for you.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. And it's like once the light bulb turns on and you realize that you have a foreign object in your body and it creates inflammation, chronic inflammation. Of course, you're going to react to it. Of course, your hormones are going to say something's wrong inside here. Of course, your immune system is going to say something is wrong inside here. Your nervous system, something is wrong. So everything started telling me something was wrong. And I didn't know what it was for a long time.
So, how did you get to the point where you decided the problem was in these breast implants?
I felt like I was chasing every symptom and there was no real solution. And my migraines weren't getting better. My perimenopause still seemed odd. I was on the highest estrogen patches that I
Uh-huh.
was allowed to be on, and my hot flashes came back. And it just seemed like this isn't right. And I
Mhm.
had to open up the door for breast implant illness. And once I did, it was just like, it all makes sense. Everything adds up and comes back to this inflammation in my body.
Right. So now what? What happened first of all when you went to doctors and you're like, I think this is maybe breast implant illness.
Right. So you'll learn very quickly if you go see a surgeon who's still putting implants in people's bodies. They don't really recognize breast implant illness as a reality. They see things as maybe flukes or unproven. And if you go find a surgeon who specializes in removing implants, they're like, absolutely. I treat thousands of women a year, and I know exactly what you're going through. There's a ton of women who know what you're going through. I joined a Facebook group called
Mhm.
Breast Implant Illness Research and Recovery. And it gave me so much information and so many recommendations and ideas. And it's through this group that I realized that I had an autonomic dysfunction my whole life. And that was probably the reason why my body's reacting so strongly to the implants. And I'm just so grateful for finding these women because it feels so alone. It feels like a lonely place to feel like there's something wrong with your body and nobody understands it or can help you treat it.
Now, you were telling me that when you have these implants removed, it's
Mhm.
kind of a big deal. It's not just like popping them, like taking off a band-aid. What's going to
Mhm.
happen?
Yeah. So I've learned a lot about what happens to our bodies when implants are put in, and especially since my were textured, uh, our bodies create scar tissue around it, and that's called a capsule. And that when there's friction between the scar tissue and the implants, your body releases toxins. And any toxins that are created or released from the implants, like some implants can grow mold in them. And
While
there's
they're inside you.
while they're inside you. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, and you can't, there's no testing for that. There's no x-ray or ultrasound that will show it. So the only way to know really what's happening is having them removed. And if you don't remove the capsule, then those toxins can sometimes stay in your body and you won't be symptom free.
So you're telling me that when you have these implants removed, they're going to take out more than just the implant pouch. They're going to kind of scrape the inside of your chest to get out all of the tissue that surrounded the implant too in this capsule.
Yes. And what makes this more risky than having the implants put in is that implants nowadays are done under the muscle. So when the capsule is created, when the scar tissue starts forming, it sticks to your ribs. So now part of removing the capsule is scraping that scar tissue off of your rib cage.
Oh,
And, it's a sensitive area. Our lungs are right underneath. And I mean, I can't wait to have the surgery. And I'm excited about the results afterwards, but it is it is a big deal.
so you're in this Facebook group. What do people say about recovery from the surgery? How long does that take?
It seems to be different for everybody. And a lot of people feel like the faster your symptoms come on after getting your implants, the faster you may recover and be symptom free. And it also depends on how long you've had them in and how long you've had the symptoms. But there is a period of detox that takes about maybe up to a year that your
Oh,
body
wow.
goes through. Yeah. So I'm expecting to have some relief. Some women wake up with, the whites of their eyes are whiter, their skin is brighter, rashes suddenly disappear, moisture comes back. Some women who have had the same autonomic dysfunction that I have, they sweat for the first time in their lives because their body is on overload.
Mhm.
It's on overload. Oh gosh, now my word has failed me. Compensating. Your body is on overload compensating for, all of your system issues going haywire. And then when that trigger is removed, they have to learn to calm down.
That's a really good point. So, are you planning to do a lot of detox therapies as soon as your implants are out next month or a little over a month?
Yeah, yeah. I am. I'm looking forward to being on the other end of this and feeling myself again. Because I've lost all my energy. I hardly leave the house. And so on the other side of this, like to have, the energy to exercise again, to put the right foods in my body, to diet, like, I mean, I would just love to have that feeling again where I feel myself and that I'm functioning the way that I should be.
Absolutely. Are there other symptoms that you think people might not realize might be connected to their breast implants that maybe you've seen talked about?
A lot of women talk about hormone issues and it's swept under the rug and not recognized as an issue with your implants. Because at our ages, you can kind of blame what you want on hormones because we are going through, changes at some point in our life and we're going to outlive our ovaries. So it's to be expected. So it does kind of, perimenopause gets blamed for a lot of symptoms that really wouldn't be there without the implants. And a lot of people also develop new symptoms like Sjogren's, arthritis
Mhm.
that go away after their implants are removed.
So there is hope at the end of this
There
journey.
is, there is. There have been a lot of cases of women who have been diagnosed with lupus and then have their implants removed and they are symptom free after the implants are gone.
So there's a lot of hope. The human body is amazing in its ability to recover if you
Mhm.
give it the right environment and inputs to help it do so and
Mhm.
remove the toxins, right? Because
Yeah.
having those implants in just means continual exposure to these irritants, not only the toxins that are, but just the presence of a foreign body inside your body, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, once you put two and two together, it all makes sense.
Yeah. So, do you have any advice for people who, first of all, might be considering getting implants or
Mhm.
B, might be considering getting their implants removed?
My advice would be to go to the Facebook and look for the breast implant illness research and recovery if you're considering implants or if you're looking to have them removed, because there is a wealth of information there. And when you go in thinking, I want implants, your image of the world is that implants are harmless. You know, this person who never had any issues. But you don't know if they don't know that their issues are related to their implants. And then you go into this group and you realize that there's a huge shift in this industry, and more women are now getting their implants removed than they are getting them placed in. And it's because like of the internet and the numbers that there are for the women that are sick, and it's not supported by the medical industry. They don't want to recognize it, but we're here and we're sick, and we have to stand for something. We have to get the word out and let people know, because I don't want other women to go through what I've been through.
Now, when you get your implants removed, do you have to
Mhm.
do some reconstruction of your breasts? What happens then?
So, a lot of surgeons will offer that and they'll say we can have them removed, we can do another lift, and we can do a fat transfer is sort of a popular method. Um, I'm not interested in doing anything except just it's just an investment for my health, just getting the implants and the capsules removed. But there are options there's just so many more new options now. If I could go back in time, I would have just waited a few years. Maybe I would have done a fat transfer. Um, some people have had issues with that as well. So there might be risks there that people should look into before they do it. But
Hmm.
I'm really lucky. I found a surgeon who actually includes some natural reconstruction with his surgery. So when he removes the capsule, he's going to take some of my remaining tissue that's under and put it on top to give it more volume.
Oh,
So,
interesting.
yeah. So, every little bit helps because, I did have an original goal when I wanted the lift is, I still want to wear a bikini. So
Yeah,
every little bit would help, but I just want to be healthy again.
that is should be the mantra, right, for all of us. Just want to
Yeah.
be healthy, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And
Any, yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, you hear people say you only have one body, one life, your body is your temple. And I really hate that I harmed it, that I did something that disrupted my body as much as it did.
We live and learn, don't
We
we?
do. Yes, we do. We live, we learn, and then we share so that others can learn.
I like that final part of it. Yes. So, Erin, your business is ABC Trips. Is there anything that you just kind of want to share about that before we end this here?
Yeah. So, one of the things I am most looking forward to getting back to after my surgery and my health is back to normal is traveling. My family and I are so passionate about traveling. And, like you mentioned, that's how we met. We've helped you with a couple of trips. And I love helping people with their trips just as much as I love going on my own. So, if anybody's looking for a trip, then you can reach out to us at abctrips.com.
And Erin, correct me if I'm wrong, but you took your kids and your whole family literally was on the road traveling for 2 years? For how long?
Yeah, about 2 years. We had an apartment in Manila and spent, 50-50 time in Asia and the US for about a year. But our youngest daughter is in in-person school now, so we're a little bit more rooted in Denver, but we still get out and travel as much as we can. We've taken our kids to all 7 continents.
That's quite an impressive feat. So I know it's going to be amazing when you get back to that travel lifestyle that you guys love so much. I really appreciate that you're coming on today to share your story because I think this is an overlooked topic and as you mentioned earlier, a lot of medical gaslighting going on with women who have breast implant illness that they might not even realize that that's what's going on because they've been told those implants are safe.
Exactly. Yeah. So I just hope that anybody who is looking to do anything with their body, they do their own research, they get second opinions, and do what is best for your body.
Amen. Thank you so much, Erin, for coming on to the show today. I appreciate this and I look forward to our next interaction together.
Yes. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. And that's another case filed on the Inflammation Investigator. Remember, every symptom is your body's way of communicating. We just need to learn the language. If today's episode sparked something for you, I want to hear about it. Share your own investigation discoveries with me on social media at Elizabeth Yarnell or find me at elizabethyarnell.com. Your experience could be exactly what another listener needs to hear. And make sure you're subscribed so you never miss an episode. And here's the thing about investigations. They work best when you're not going it alone. If this podcast is helping you uncover the answers you've been searching for, please like, rate, subscribe, and review, and share it with someone who needs to hear this message. As a new podcast, these actions mean more than you know. Want to dive deeper into your own inflammation investigation? Head over to inflammationinvestigator.com, where you can take my free inflammation quiz to uncover which hidden triggers might be affecting your health. Until next time, this is Elizabeth Yarnell, your inflammation investigator, reminding you that the solutions to your health issues are out there. Let's find them together.